This episode of Rick and Rick Rule the World is brought to you by Taskin, the first name in premium quality travel gear, with slim, stylish gear like the Taskin Edge professional laptop backpack for business and travel. Order now at TaskinSF.com. Next up on an all-new Rick and Rick.
As the 2020s begin, we're counting down our favorites from the 2010s.
That's right. We're here to attempt the impossible by naming our votes for Best Movie,
Best TV Show, Best Marketing Campaign, and more.
as we celebrate the best of the decade that was 2010 through 2019.
And it all starts right here, right now.
On the one show where everybody ricks a fork in it.
And everybody rules the world.
A happy new year, everybody. Welcome to the very first Rick and Rick of 2020. All new year and all new decade. We have a Ricktacular show today because we're going to try the impossible here. This is your idea, Rick, but we're going to stick with it. I should start off by welcoming my bro host, Rick Wooten. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's crazy that we're already coming up at the end of a decade.
It is insane. That's the thing about life. Change is constant. Speaking of constant, Rick and Rick are here for you, everybody. But this time we've got just a weird show. It's a Rick and Rick Rewind. And we are going to attempt to name our favorite. I guess it's one runner-up and then our favorite for the entire past decade in categories ranging from movies, TV, marketing campaigns. I think we got social media in there and more. Now, Rick, I have a tough enough time doing our annual lists of favorites. And now we're counting down our favorites from the entire decade, from 2010 to 2019. It's like Mission Impossible. I just don't know whether it's Mission Impossible Rogue Nation or Mission Impossible Fallout. I'm not sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've really struggled with this one, and I can't say that I'm totally satisfied with my list. I mean, there's so much to go into this. I mean, we were talking offline. It was like, well, is it like the most popular or the most revenue generating, our own favorites? I mean, there's so much ambiguity to this, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'll set the stage right now. I had to give up on trying to determine what I thought was the quote unquote best in terms of best quality or things like that. I literally just had to go with favorites, and I even had to think about that. It's kind of like when we did our top 10 list of best sci-fi movies ever. That was my list that day. When I put together the list, it would be totally different any other day. And this is very much the case here. Why don't we start with best movie between 2010 and 2019?
I'll go first, and I'll hit you with my runner-up.
Okay.
This one was tough. I have to say, you and I are big fans of movies. We talk a lot about movies, and trying to pick one in the last 10 years, oh my gosh, that was so hard. Yeah. And when I started looking at what was the most popular over the last 10 years, I couldn't believe that some of the movies were within the last 10 years that were. And so it was like, as I kind of went through the whole thing, my number one pick ended up being different than I expected it to. But I'll start with runner-up. So runner-up for me has got to be, Avengers Endgame. I really enjoyed that movie. I felt like, it pretty much did justice to, the 20 or so movies before that, and it wrapped things up nicely. But it had its flaws. We talk about that pretty regularly on the show, but I felt like it was kind of a pinnacle of a whole long storyline that had built up to that. So for me, that's got to be my runner-up. And are you ready? Are you sitting down?
I'm bracing myself
because I forgot this movie was in the last 10 years. Inception is my number one.
I predicted. I literally had a note to myself.
Did you really?
His favorite's going to be Inception.
Yeah. No, I love that movie. I referenced that movie far too much, and I hadn't realized that it was in the last decade until I did the research. And when it came up, I was like, all right, that's got to be it.
Yeah, it's funny. My list had Avengers Endgame. It had Inception. But here's where I landed. My runner-up is Gravity from 2013. Directed by Alfonso Cuarón. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. Now, I have to be very clear here. I mean Gravity in theaters in 2013. This movie follows Sandra Bullock as a astronaut, part of a doomed mission aboard the space shuttle, and her desperate attempts to try to get back to terra firma. And I saw it in 3D in the movie theater, and it was literally a roller coaster. I mean, I felt myself spinning in my chair during this, entirely gripping. But the reason it couldn't possibly get to my number one pick was because I subsequently saw it on demand. Did nothing for me.
Oh, interesting.
Then I made the mistake of attempting to watch it again on an airplane ride. Do not ever watch this movie on an airplane. Do not ever do that. I'm just going to tell you right now, not a movie I literally had to shut it off. A really, really gripping movie in the theaters and unfortunately on the airplane. Totally different kind of gripping. Okay, so this one's going to surprise you. My number one selection is not Avengers Endgame. It's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, if you can believe it.
Whoa!
Yes.
You've come over.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I had to sit there and go, okay, what was a movie that I watched several times and I was surprised and delighted by that? I wasn't expecting it to be so entertaining and found myself just totally loving it. And that was the movie that came to mind. It is the animated adventures of Miles Morales as he discovers that the universe is not a universe, it's a multiverse. And there are lots of different Spider-Men out there. I just thought it was a lot of fun and action-packed. The animation is spectacular for Spider-Man. In fact, the movie won the Academy Award for Best Animated Movie for 2018. So that's my number one pick for the last decade.